Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, family and friends. We are back again, Well, I realized something. I am very petty. And the two most favorite things that I love to say in the world, the first one is no. Can I have some of your drink? No, should have got your own. Can I have some of your food? Nope, you should have ordered your own. Can I have some of your money? Nope, you should have got a job. The second most favorite thing I like to say is I told you so. And last night, it all came together. I told you Trump was racist, and I told you Trump supporters were racist, but I got a little bit of pushback. Well, last night, he was at Madison Square Garden for a Trump hate-filled rally that now you can't... It took this much for people to say, well, maybe he oughtn't have should have done that. You couldn't hear the noise from the city. You couldn't see the forest through the trees. Well, I'm going to give you some of the highlights from this hate-filled Nazi propaganda. Woo! All right. They had a guy on there who was invited to speak by Trump or by the Trump campaign, which means he was speaking before Trump went on. They had to, vet him. They knew what he was going to talk about. They knew what he was going to say. I'm just going to give you a couple of the highlights, okay? One of the things he said was, for Halloween, black people carve watermelons instead of pumpkins. Okay? You don't think that's really too bad? You think, that's not racist, Greg. If you wouldn't say it at work because of HR, you most certainly shouldn't say it at a presidential election campaign rally. Okay? Then he went on to say, I've got exciting news. All black people will be history next month. All black people will be history. Not Black History Month. All black people will be history next month. Now, I don't know what that means to you, but I know what it insinuates to me. Like, oh, you thought that was funny to say all black people are going to be exterminated next month after the election? Is that where you're going with that? Okay. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to keep going. Then he went on to say the blockbuster, which is what's got the internet so fired up right now, that there's a bunch of garbage floating in the ocean, and it's called Puerto Rico. I mean, Puerto Ricans have a nice little slice of population. A lot of people like Puerto Ricans. I like Puerto Ricans. They can cook really well. They dance. They sing. They can do culturally everything I can do. No problem. Okay? Florida has a large population of Spanish people. So does Pennsylvania. That might have been a terrible, terrible mistake. Okay? But to all my Tex-Mex, non-Spanish speaking Mexican and Latino friends that wear the red MAGA hats and vote Republican, he's talking about you too. And now you got proof. Because he said next, Latinos, I open illegals and Latinos, I welcome them with open arms. Open like this. And that's the gesture that he did. Like, stop, no, open arms. That's what he said about illegals and Latinos. All right. followed that up. Now, this is a little bit vulgar, but I'm going to say it because this was like the jaw dropper for me, okay? He said, yeah, Latinos, Mexican, Spanish people, Latinos, they like to have a lot of kids. They don't pull out. They come right inside. The same way they come right inside America. I'm not going to name names, but some of you know who you are, wearing your MAGA hats, Spanish, Mexican, talking about your vote Republican. You know who I'm talking to. He's talking about you too. Don't matter. You thought that you were special. You thought that you were different. No, he's talking about your Spanish behind also. So, I'm letting you know right now, I am that petty. And I'm not going to let it go. When Trump loses, I'm not letting it go. I'm not going to forget, and I'm going to remind you why the guy that, some people voted for or some people wanted to vote for again, I'm going to remind them why he lost, okay? Because I am that petty. For 4 years, I had to listen and watch and hear y'all talk about Black Lives Matter. You talked about trans people and the LGBTQ, and now you're on women's reproductive rights. I'm not going to let it go. I'm letting you know right now, I am going to be petty about it. Okay? So, all the Spanish folks, he said Puerto Ricans, he said Mexicans, he said Latinos. I told you he was racist. You didn't want to believe me. Now you got no choice. Okay? You know what? It's very easy to go onto the internet and look at that, highlights from that rally last night, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm going to end this off with something that they don't want you to think about. This is why they try to get rid of books. This is why they try to just, change what you learn in school. This is a poem, okay? And it starts off, they came for the socialists. And I didn't say anything because I'm not a socialist. They came for the trade unionists. I didn't say anything because I'm not in the trade union. Then they came for the Jews. And I didn't say anything because I'm not Jewish. When they came for me, there was no one left to speak. Do you want to know where that's from? That's from the Holocaust Memorial. So when you hear me talking about trans or gay rights, it's not because I'm trans. I have no intention of ever doing anything to my family jewels. I like me just the way I am. When you hear me talking about women's reproductive rights, I'm a man. I can never have an operation or a procedure like that. It has no effect on me. But what I can do is I can stand up for other people and other people's freedoms and rights so that when they start coming for me, and believe you me, if he gets back in office, we'll see it again. Oh, whites only water fountains. You can't swim here. You got to eat in the back of the restaurant, sit in the back of the bus. He lived through those times. No, I want to make sure that I'm standing up for everybody so when it's time, they can stand up for me also. That's why it's so important not to let this dude get back in office. Whew. Woosah. Anyway, thank you for watching. And like I said, if you have any questions, go online, look it up. You'll see the highlights. You'll see exactly what I just said, how racist Trump and his supporters are. Okay, you know what? The majority, 51% or more. There we go. I'm sorry. Let me put that disclaimer in there. Anyway, thank you, and have a good night.